Welcome to FYI. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome. Whether you folks are joining us on Twitter, you're joining us on LinkedIn, you're joining us on Facebook, you're joining us, wherever you're joining us this morning, our YouTubers, whether you're joining us on that platform, welcome to FYI. It's Thursday, believe it or not, folks, the 17th day of November. Already, my mind is harkening back to October, but it's the 17th day of November, and we're so happy that you guys are here with us. Who do we have this morning? We got Tommy Gibbs, we got Anthony Jarvis, John Jones, we got Colvis Bino. How are you guys doing? Lots of the guys have joined us very, very early. I see Michaela Andrews, Coates, and Dennis London Welchman. Folks, take the liberty on our behalf to share the live, smash that emoji button for us, and partner with us too. Good folks, you know, that's how we do it. Rihanna Mingo, great to see you, and Claire Alexis, Charmley Richmond. How has Thursday started where you folks are? Please let us know. Throwback Thursday, guys. Leslie Charles and all the other folks. I see Clark is joining us, and Dennis London Welchman. I see Julian Armstrong. Julian, how are you doing? So glad to have you. Pace and power, Julian. Thanks for the thing. Julian. Joy Hopkinson is here too. I see Lyndon Jones and Tessa Isaacs, Graves Andy. Shakira Phillips. I haven't seen Shakira in a little bit. That doesn't say Shakira hasn't been, at the back, just quietly looking on. But good to have you this morning, Shakira, out front. And Ingrid King, Candeline Inderjeet is here as well, folks. Scores of you have already joined our program, and we welcome you, folks. Sandra is here, Sandra Ford. I see Jane Ogle is here too. How are you doing, Jane? Good to have you on board this morning. And all the other guys who join us. Beatrice Selby, of course. Loretta Argyle is here too, and Prince Hodari. Good to have Claire Capel and all the other guys who are joining us. You beautiful folks, you make the program what it is. And I hope that you guys are having great weather where you are. I hope breakfast has started with a bang. Perhaps. I hope it has started with a bang, folks. And Kim Luke, good to have you. And I see Gavin DeAndre is also here. Yep, good to have you. And Brennan and Gavin and Loretta, Ingrid, Kim, Facebook user, not forgetting Deborah Mitchell. Guys, great to have you folks here. We're going to get straight into the morning papers. Lots to discuss with you wonderful folks. Deborah Mitchell and Kim Luke. I see Dolly Anderson. Linton is here. Good to have you too, Dolly. Great to have you, as a matter of fact, guys. We hope that at your end, you are fired up, guys, for this Thursday, and you are ready to go. Ready to go. John Chesney, how do you do? Fair Lion and John Sullivan. Beryl Crawford, how are you, beautiful folks? Sabina Jacobs, good to have you here, Sabina. Great to have you. Candy Lillian Inderjeet, we're so happy you're here, Candy. We're so happy you're here. Great to have you. Candy's hand now reached. Oh, Scraps, here you come. We're happy. Is it Desrin McBean? Desrin, how are you doing? Great to see you, Desrin. I see Nubian Queen Hunt. Good to have you too. Silbert Stewart and Charlotte Blackman. Marlon Thomas. Marlon, how are you doing? Great to have Marlon. And I see Dolly and Shanette, Silbert, Claire. Good to have each and every one of you. And we're so thankful that you guys are now pouring in by the hundreds into the morning program. We're so thankful to have you folks. As you come, guys, share the live for us. Smash that emoji button. Quite a few things, guys, in the morning papers. Quite a few things in the morning papers today. We ain't going to waste no time. A lot of ground to cover. We started a couple minutes late. Chandler Griffith, we see you there. The guys are going to bring up this full screen morning papers for us, guys. Beatrice Selby, Chevron Fraser. Quite a few things making the morning papers. And we're going to tell you all about it in just a few. Karen Black, good to see you. Chevron Fraser, good to see you. Marlon Lorimer, good to see you. I see Stan Bourne is here as well. Great to see you, Stan. And all the other guys joining us this morning. Beatrice, and I see Candy the lead. I see Chevron McDonald. All the McDonald seems to be out this morning. Good to have you folks. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button. Those of you who are joining us there on YouTube, missed it there for a second. Those of you joining on YouTube, do you know you can contribute to our program right there from YouTube? Look in that comment section. Look down below, you see the dollar sign? That's how you do it. For the rest of you guys, it's our anniversary month, and you guys can partner with us on Zelle and PayPal You can use Cash App. We got MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. All for your convenience, of course. We don't say it in a braggadocious way. All for your convenience. Somebody like go and line up now. I know those of you who are in the north, right from your phone, you can send MoneyGram. Right from your phone, you can send Western Union. That's how you guys roll in it. Hard and heavy. Cash App and PayPal and Zelle to match. All we got here is the MMG. But we're thankful nonetheless. We're thankful. Guys, you have any queries? 627-6963. If you have any queries, 627-6963. Here's a wonderful shot of outside, guys. A wonderful shot. Partner with us. Share the live, smash the emoji button. Juliet Mickle, we see you. Susan Jacobs, we see you. Marlon Larma, we see you, folks. We see you, great people. And this is a shot here, guys, of the East Bank, I think it is. They're going to tell us. Yep. We're on the East Bank, guys. A beautiful morning shot, as you see on the East Bank. This is Houston, they tell us. Houston on the East Bank. You see things looking very nicely there. I love the flow. You know, when I see traffic flowing, it's I see the wheels of industry turning. Things are happening. People are going after their dreams and their goals and their aspirations. People are moving. And that's a good sign right there. And Jolly Anderson Linton, do you think so? Beatrice Selby, do you think so? A wonderful shot of the East Bank corridor as you go past Houston there. Wonderful shot of Houston. Yep. That's how it looks down there, folks. That's how it's looking down there. Quite a few things, as we said, on the morning papers at the back this side. Welcome to each and every one of you. You're now waking up, pulling up a cup of coffee, a cup of Milo tea, coffee, tea bag tea. Something you're having some toast, you're having a little bake, you're having some bread. Whatever it is, guys, we're so happy. We're so happy that you folks are going to spend this time with us. And we hope that this is meaningful to you folks as it is to us to spend this time with you. Anton Nicholson, you just come. Susan Jacobs, good to have you. Sheila Boydchild, we see you there. We see you, sir. Alfred Potts is here as well. Tony Kosher is here too. Good to have you, Karen Black, and all you wonderful folks. Hope breakfast has started well, or at least it's building up. It's building up to something wonderful. Yep. We hope, folks. Lots of things on the morning papers today. Lots of things. Whether, folks, it's internationally, it's in the region, or with the 592, lots of things happening. Rihanna Mingo, we see you there. We trust that you are well. Donna Brutus, good to have you, Donna. How are you doing? So good to have you, Donna. Welcome. I see. John Jones says he's having some green tea. Did I see that? Did I see some green tea? Some of you all know you're all different, you know. Yeah, ginger tea, rather. I saw the G, ginger tea. John Jones having it. Who's about the things? And Anton Nicholson says, good morning, FYI family. Good morning back to you. Right? John Jones having there some ginger tea. Well, you know you're able. Roxy McKinnon says bush tea by her side. Bush tea. Yep. Bush tea by her side. Yep. Hope you enjoy. Enjoy for all of us. Please and thank you. Enjoy for all of us. Good to see Wayne Liddell. And again, Beatrice is here too. Beatrice is always here and on time. Ghana nowadays, I just arrived, and Leon Logan. Good to have all of you fantastic folks. I see Michaela Andrews. Quotes is here too. Great to have you. And Candace Jones. Candace, how are you doing? You know, our YouTube audience is growing, and we're so privileged about that. We are so privileged our YouTube audience is growing. I see Carol Rollins says she's having Milo on the train. Ain't that the life, Carol? Ain't that the life? Milo on the train. Ain't that the life? Yep. In that the life. Milo on the train. I want to be like you. Milo on the train. Good to have you folks. And thanks to the folks who just served up some tea here. They're so gracious, you know. It's not easy to find good people these days. It's not easy at all. Not easy, but we are grateful. Chris, good to see you. And Annette Cummins and all the other folks. Folks, here's some of the things that are making the morning papers perhaps close to where you good folks are. Just a couple of the things perhaps making the morning papers. And we really, really trust that all you fantastic people, we trust that you all are well. We got a couple of things we're going to shoot by you guys that making the morning papers. The guys are going to bring up that huge screen for us there. With the morning papers, for us, a lot of things making the morning papers. Today, folks, we're going to shoot just a couple of them at you. Good folks, we're going to shoot a couple of them at you. First up, folks, here we go. First up. Yep. Terrence Thomas was one of those missing surveyors. Thanks, guys. Terrence Thomas is one of those missing surveyors. His body has been recovered. Yep, Terrence Thomas. You know, they went missing at Imbamadai in the interior about a week ago, and now they have found Terrence Thomas' body. His colleague, Jermaine LaRose, he is still missing, and so they're still searching for him. They both capsized at Imbamadai. Yep, and the young men were thrown overboard, these surveyors, and they've recovered Terrence Thomas' body within the last 24 hours. And really want to say thoughts and prayers with the families. Our thoughts and prayers. And we hope yours too. Janice Booker, it's not easy out there, we tell you guys all the time. All the time. The other pandemic is the carnage in our waterways and in our streets. And we got to curb that. We got to curb that. Michelle George and Marlon Thomas, Sheila Boychuk, we got to curb that. And at least this family can have some closure, having now recovered his body. And while that is happening, good folks, while that is happening, we have some other things happening as well. We have some other things. The DPP says they're still considering whether or not charges should be laid to that policeman who arrested the lawyer, Jamaica Clark. Whether or not there are sufficient grounds to institute charges. Well, I think we see how this is going already. Sheila Boychuk, I think we're seeing how this is going already. Waiting to produce the advice whether or not to charge. And I think, good folks, I think we have a fairly decent sense. We're big. You know, we're big. That's how I can put it. We're big. We're main thing. Right? At least we're fully so. We're big, folks. And we got sense. We're big. I think we understand. Different strokes for different folks. I think we understand. But the Father says don't sleep. You know, we have a big case, guys, before the World Court, the International Court of Justice. A big case is the border case. With them boys in Venezuela who claiming almost half of this beautiful country of ours. Well, the oral hearings in that case, they begin today. The oral hearings, guys, in that case starts today with that border controversy. Yeah, starts today. And again, of course, we wishing our team the best. And we know our team is going to triumph because we got the law on our side, we got history on our side. The law and history on our side. And this matter has already been determined. A long time ago, we know where these guys coming from now. I was with these guys calling out from now. I'm saying that they own a piece of our country. Not a bit of it. Please and thank you. Not a bit of it. Not a bit of it. And that's one of the things brewing in the morning papers. Well, you all know we had the Brahman bull. We had the black belly sheep. Now it's the giant black fowl. Giant black chicken. Yep. They said they're going to be distributing chicken to some folks in Region 6, of course. Of course. Some folks in Region 6. This is the black giant chicken. Get the phrasing right. The black giant chicken. Isn't me all these 99% of these animals got the word black in it. The black belly sheep, the giant black chicken, the black giant chicken. Well, they said they're giving some folks in Region 6 to start a little rearing. Candy, I know Candy Naleen Inderjeet is in Region 6. Candy, you're prepping for your giant black chicken, your black giant chicken. So it's the Brahman bull, the black belly sheep, and now the black giant chicken. But I hope the folks who are going to receive this to go into the little poultry business, I hope they do well in a genuine way. I hope they do well. You know, because we got to look out for us in this country. And it's a small man that's really driving this economy. The small man who go out every day and you're slugging away at it to make a difference in the life of your communities, if you got an employer or two, and make a difference in the life of your family. To make a difference in the life of your family. We met a fella yesterday when we were at Chumeri. He says that he has some grave medical complications, and because of that, he has been advised by his family, by his doctor rather, not to work. But he says family, wife and children out there every day begging on the streets of this country to make ends meet. Literally begging. And that really tore us up. Really tore us up. You know, maybe he's a good candidate for some black giant chicken. Right? Candy, did Candy say she got her black giant chicken? Right? Well, they're giving out in Region 6, so Candy, make yourself available, please. Please, Candy and others. You know, when they're giving you taxpayers' money, so don't get tired. It's not coming from Freedom House. So don't let me get tired. It's taxpayers' money. So feel free, good folks, to enjoy that. Is it taxpayers' money? Right? Is it taxpayers' money? Please and thank you. Please and thank you, folks. Here's the taxpayers' money. Well, we're being told, guys, by one of my, I think from now, like one of my favorite people. Right? Like one of my real favorite people. Coming out of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Chris Etienne says, as the holiday approaches, we got to be on the lookout for the triple threat. And you know, Dr. Chris Etienne has been tremendous in the work that she's done in really and truly holding back this region from the onslaught of COVID that we've seen some other places by her timely intervention along with, of course, the organization she represents. They said you got to look into the triple threat. And part of the reporting we're seeing this morning says that the good doctor, the director of PAHO, Dr. Chrissy Etienne, is calling on countries, especially in the run-up to the festive seasons, to implement effective tools proven to keep communities safe, such as vaccine surveillance, such as vaccines, surveillance, mask wearing, and social distancing. You know, in our affiliate program last night in the ring, we were telling you folks that even Frank himself says they are seeing a resurgence of COVID-19. So you want to know that. And so Dr. Etienne noted that COVID-19 infections are on the rise, seasonal influenza is on the rise, and respiratory respiratory virus also is in circulation. So that's the triple threat. You got COVID on the rise, you got seasonal influenza, and then there's this respiratory virus. And that's the virus, right? That is also on the rise. That's the triple threat. So you want to watch that, folks? And if Dr. Chrissy Etienne says that, she has a heart for people and for stemming the tide of these maladies that we're faced with as societies. And as a society, I think you might want to listen to Dr. Etienne, especially on the COVID front. Even Frank ran it last night and says COVID on the rise locally. Guys, be careful out there. Marilyn Thomas and Annette Cummins, Tariq, and I see also Sheila Boyd, Malika King, rather. And all the other guys, Facebook user. You all be careful out there. We beg of you, please and thank you. Be careful or be on your P's and Q's. Where the triple threat is concerned, folks. Be on your P's and Q's. We turn attention, folks, to international segment. Lots happening there. Put it up big for us, guys. Lots happening, folks, in international news. Lots and lots and lots happening. Took a sip of the tea there. Fantastic. Fantastic. We can send out the maker later. As a matter of fact, the maker done gone off. But lots happening internationally. Tyreek and Sheila Boyd Child, all fun parts. Donna Joseph, Juliet Maker. Lots happening internationally, folks. Take the opportunity, take a minute, share the like, smash that emoji button for us, and we're moving on. Lots happening, folks. The Republicans, you know, are going to hold on to their majority in the House in the US. Well, of course, the Democrats got the Senate. But this here means they're telling us that Joe Biden's going to have a tough time to get anything done in Washington. A tough time. Because nothing going past them, boys. Of course, they don't want them to look bad. Of course, Trump ain't give you no free pass. So the Senate to the Democrats and the House gone to the Republicans, and there's going to be a new speaker. Believe it or not, there's going to be a new speaker of the House. So these are some of the things we're watching and parsing, because you know the complications for us here. You know, somebody sneeze around the world, it affects us here. Right? Don't think we forget the Wuhan lab in China and how COVID got started. Somebody sneeze someplace in the world, it could knock down one of us. God forbid. It could knock down one of us. So again, Republicans gone with the House, Democrats got the Senate. Let's see how it goes. But again, all the political parties are telling us this morning that there's going to be no easy ride for Joe Biden. They're going to try to be a block in his step at every turn. At every turn. That's what they're telling us, folks. That's what they're telling us. And so a bit of good news coming out of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. You know the grain? The big problem we had with the shipment of grain? Of course, you should know that the Ukraine does a lot of grain production, wheat production, and that kind of thing. And there was a blockade on that. Well, the UN Secretary General is telling us they've managed to extend this pack. You know, they free up some of the ports so that grain can be shipped. They free up some of the ports there in Russia, in Ukraine. Well, the Ukraine, the US, what am I saying? The United Nations, rather, Secretary General is telling us that they have managed to hammer out a deal of 100 plus days more of shipments. 100 plus days more. Could we stop this fighting foolishness? And people starving in this world? And people spend billions of dollars buying guns and ammunition and war tank and aircraft and all kinds of stuff to fight each other. We got to stop this foolishness. We got to stop it. Stop the foolishness. Stop the madness. Regionally, folks. Regionally. When do you think you heard it all? Cocaine in bird, cocaine in colors, cocaine in this, cocaine. When you think you heard it all in Colombia? In Colombia, those guys are eking out new territory. Right? Creating new territory. Cocaine in the wake now. The folks were suspicious. They said they had some women coming through the airport and their hairstyle was so outlandish, flamboyant, outrageous. It raised suspicions. It raised suspicion. See? And when they bust the weave, and Phillips, Desmond Harris, and Tyler Wade, Duncan, when they bust the weave, sugar down from scalp to toe, and it comments. You ever seen anything like this? The ingenuity that these guys are using to pass these drugs. The ingenuity. I wonder how much coke and weave passed Cherry Jackal International. How much coke and weave? The folks in the hairstyle in Colombia of these two women, they were on their way to Madrid, Spain. The hairstyle was so big. They said, They expected from Guyanese women, but I'm going to pull them in and did the checks, did the scans. Well, you see there for yourself. These pellets, numerous. Where's that deep scalp treatment? You see? That's not something to treat broken ends and so on. Right? That's narcotics being trafficked. Is that a new technology to install your weave? That's cocaine being shipped, folks. Trafficking. Elizabeth the Right says, well, look, story here. Welcome, Elizabeth. Elizabeth should follow for these people. When Anderson says business is a must, business is a must. We all fed up with them. We can't do the time. Of course, guys, don't do the crime. In the 592, we're bringing you all in real fast, watching the time. The end of 592, folks. Lots happening on this one. And this is a sad story here. This is a tremendously sad story. Hold that in place for us, guys. Tremendously sad story on this one. Tremendously sad story. It couldn't get any worse. Listen, I had to pause, you know. I have a son at this age, and perhaps in this region too. right? In this region too. And, it wasn't easy getting through the story here, right? Is it Jays? This name could be Jays or Jay-Z. Jay-Z Agnew, just 13 years old, lives in the United States, right? And lived in Temple Hills, Maryland. His parents are Guyanese, and he had a day off from school. Had finished his homework, his mother said, and he was raking leaves in the front yard. Is it autumn in the US? Those of you who are that side, is it autumn or is it fall? Raking leaves. And if Maryland is like Connecticut, in autumn and in fall, the trees are beautiful, magnificent. And there's lots of leaves scattered about. And he's raking leaves in the front yard. And somebody drove by shooting. And young Jay-Z Agnew, 13 years old, was hit. Somebody just drove by shooting. And young Mr. Agnew, Master Agnew, Jay-Z Agnew, 13 years old, rushed to hospital where he succumbed to this gunshot wound. Of course, as you can imagine, this family here, let's bring it up. Let's give the folks a shot of them. Here is Jay-Z Agnew and his mother. Of course, you can imagine immense grief in the family. Look at that young, handsome face. He's as tall as my son. My son just turned 14. And as handsome as he is. So I understand as a parent, you see, you want the best for your kids. And then some foolishness like this because people are so heartless. Young Jay-Z Agnew just picking up leaves in the front yard. Temple Hills, Maryland. There's it. His uncle, CK Noons, confirmed that his nephew succumbed. He said, my nephew has succumbed to the injuries he suffered from the gunshot wounds. Right? Yep. He stayed home from school because there was a countrywide, what they call, is it asynchronous learning? His mother, Juanita Agnew, told the Washington Post there was a day off. They were working from home. He finished his homework and he was raking up leaves in the front yard. And that's it, folks. We send our thoughts and prayers to this family and their community. They need a lot of prayers, folks, a lot of love and a lot of support. 13 years old, Jason Agnew, transition life, senseless gun violence. Thanks, guys. The parents are still trying to come to terms. What will lead somebody? It wasn't a stray bullet. It seemed as though the child was the intended target, or at least the house was the intended target from the reports that we have. What would lead somebody to do this? And just like that, Jay-Z Agnew has lost his life. Our condolences, our thoughts and prayers, and I see lots of you expressing the same. Right? Lots of you expressing the same. Go to his family. Thoughts and prayers and our condolences to his family and his community. That's what's happening on that front, folks. As we come to issues closer to home. Guyanese living in the diaspora, like here, face their own challenges. And so this family is now, as you can imagine, grief-stricken, overcome with sadness, shrouded in sadness, with the loss of Jay-Z Agnew. Thoughts and prayers again with that family. Our thoughts and prayers go to them. Well, what was in Chameri, where we are, folks, water woes. Went there yesterday and spoke with the residents about a whole host of issues. You see, I've been going through my dictionary, folks. I got to up the vocab for this year and the next. Went through a plethora of issues. How was song there? Went through a plethora of issues there, guys, in Chameri, and we spoke with one resident. And these were his concerns with what the situation there.
Oh, the water in Timeri is very bad. You can't even drink the water in Timeri. You see a muck coming through the pipe. Every time you turn on the pipe, it's muck. And then you got to buy water if you want to use. What are the people them who cannot afford to buy this water? You know? And nobody is doing nothing about it. The government doing nothing about this water. This year is a long time this water problem in Timeri. Sometimes the pipe is mud coming through. The water is here mud. And it's bad. I reported the problem to Gaiwa, they do nothing. I'm fed up with this thing, man. I'm fed up. The water problem was good. When it came in power, the water problem gone in Timeri. Timeri had powerful water. You could put your cup to the pipe and drink the water. Now you can't do that. You know, it's bad. And you got to pay every month for this water. But sometimes they don't come and they give you a bill, so they give you a bill 5,000, 6,000, all sort of thing. And it's bad. You know? Some people, when you go at the they get a bill $100,000, I want to, where do you water? One time my bill come to 50,000. I asked them if I have a hotel, because I don't know what's going on in this country. Nobody don't come and read meter. While you see bill come at your home. And that is really, really bad. Really, really bad. Well, the government got to do something with this water problem, man. You can't get poor people punishing for water. Guys in the land of many water. And why we must punish for water? And now we have oil. That's the most important thing. We supposed to get the best water in the country around. People get the best water because you get oil.
Yeah. And he's absolutely right. You saw the filter there? That orange you see on the inside of the blue, that's not the color, you know, of the filter. That's the water. That's the water. And our the gentleman there, the resident there of Chameri, said it's only so much that the filter can capture the sediments fighting the filter. Right? And that's after 1 week. Our colleague is telling us here, after 1 week. So you can change filter, and you're paying for the water. The water isn't free in the land of many. The water isn't free. And so they're asking for some attention there with that water situation. They're asking for some intervention with that water situation down there. Now, some of them can't keep to themselves. You know, they see people, children, they got to interfere with them. This fella here raped a 12-year-old. The court says last year, at least 3 separate occasions. Well, he got 15 years. Court says he showed no remorse, even as he asked for leniency. He showed no remorse. At least on 3 separate occasions, he raped the young woman, 12 years old. And the court has given him 15 years. I think they should have given him double, but it is what it is. It is what it is. 15 years. Hope the family can find closure. 15 years they give him for his foolishness. Right? Some people are sick, you know. We see a lot of people walking around this place, but they're sick. Sheila Boychild, Juliet Mickle added comments. Sherwin Joseph Tendry, Ingrid Austin is sick. 15 years. Spoke with the mayor of Georgetown also yesterday. Lots of challenges in the city, lots of big businesses. He ain't paying the taxes, but we want clean city. I saw the president and others in a cleanup activity. Good for you all. But let's empower the main city council to do what it should be doing. once empowered, once its capacity building and so on. We spoke with the mayor on a range of issues, which we're going to be rolling out for you guys over time. But we spoke to him on this issue of the bloated list. The bloated list. Y'all know this corrupt, dirty list that we hate so much. Of recent is the best thing since sliced bread, as we say proverbially for the PPP, is the best thing since sliced bread. This list, dirty list, the mayor waded into that issue. She want clean list, like the rest of us. It's just them buying one the clean list, even though in 2015 they're asking for house registration, for a clean list. But now, no, it's nice time with the dirty list. The mayor of Georgetown, Ubashnuine.
Voters list that we presently have, it is something that in 2015, the PVP had made a statement in Starbrook News and calling for house-to-house registration since then. And when we had this issue lately with 2020 general regional election, they make mention again on the voters list. And it's something that our Guyanese people don't go back to the past and see what really political parties statement they had made. And PVP should hold ransom of the statement they made since 2015, calling for a house-to-house registration. Why now you have the power, you're in this driving seat, why you don't want to have the house-to-house registration? And that is something raise eyebrows, especially young politicians like myself, who is trying to secure a better future for our generation to come. And that alone tell me something really happened to this list, something wrong with this list. Because it can't see that you call for this list to review and to have house-to-house registration in 2015 and continue to call for it. And now when you assume power with a bloated list, you don't want house-to-house registration. And I want to divert a little in the recount process with CARICOM, where CARICOM in the statement, in that report, make mention clear, very clear, that we need to rectify the list that we presently have. We need house-to-house registration. So all of these recommendations is made, and even the ambassadors and the high commissioners make mention of on this list. And today I am seeing a difference between ambassadors and the high commissioner's statement out there. And that is, for me, as a young politician, as a Guyanese, the diplomatic community is taking side in our country. And we have to be very careful on that. And we Guyanese people should not allow any diplomat to make such statement. Any, I'm not pointing out one, but any diplomat should not make statement to suit the Guyanese people life in this country. They are here for a purpose, and they should ensure that we have a clean list and we should have democracy in our nation. Not what is happening here. I met with many of the ambassadors, many of the high commissioners, and I said to them the issue that we have at the municipality level. To date, I never hear one of them pronounce or call upon the government to work with the capital city of this country. But we have people who take sides and say that we can use the list with safeguard. How can you safeguard a bloated list? Tell us how. You make this statement. Tell us how that we can use it. When you know for a fact, and the entire Guyana know for a fact, there is a bloated list. So we have to be very careful. I believe we should band together as political parties. We should be mature enough, and we should be able to have a house-to-house registration, and any election should be very clean. We must show democracy. And with that issue that took place in 2020 with the recount and all these obstacles, We need a new voters list. We don't want to go back there. And now I have seen as well, and I study these things. When you do read it, you sit and you wonder and you study what is the next plan of the Attorney General. And there are certain moves the Attorney General is making is not whenever an election held in this country again, we should not have a recount. That is the move the Attorney General making. That is how I see it. So when now the opposition call for a recount, there will be certain clause in new laws that you want to make changes of. There wouldn't be any recount, right? So that is my view. The PPP government is secure themselves in a form saying, preaching on democracy, but is actually a dictatorship. The way they're pending the laws or the bill to table in Parliament.
Yep. I fully support what Lord Mayor Ubraj said there. It's a dirty list. There's no rocket science. If people believe the list is bloated, dead people on the list, and all kinds of other people who should not be there. And if we feel the same way, why can't we work together and cleanse the list? But the list got to be benefiting somebody. It got to be installing somebody. Is who fighting for the list to stay the same way? Somebody benefiting from this dirty, filthy list. Somebody is benefiting from it. Susan Jacobs, you got any guesses? Gwen Anderson, you got any guesses? Alec Cummins, what about you? Gail, nowadays, you got any guesses? A clean voters list can only redound to the benefit, the robustness of our democracy. And when you have the elections and you cast a vote, you know it's real people you're voting for. It's not fake people. It's not printed people. It's real, authentic people on the list. All of us want the same thing in this one Guyana. All of we? Or do we? Or do we, folks? You know the news yesterday? Body was discovered in Brickdam at the Gomes Optical building here in Brickdam, under bridge decaying. Right? It's a mystery how the body got under the bridge, because we saw policemen having to break the bridge with sledgehammer to retrieve this body under the bridge at this Shula and I think Gomes Opticals building on Brickdam. I think it's Brickdam and Winter Place. I had to break the bridge. How did the body get under there? Folks, every day we get up, say, this is Guyana. We got a motto. That's sufficient. One people, one nation, one destiny. And then you got the other one. This is Guyana. This is Guyana. Take a look at some of what took place yesterday as the police were trying to retrieve that body.
Right on there.
Was it drunk or fall over? Oh, they look so like the red man. You must have smelled like been there a while.
Yep. Yesterday afternoon at Brickdam, folks, and you heard some of the comments of the people there concerning the stench, because that body have to have been there a little while, and the police, I see some folks say, struggling with the sledgehammer to, dislocate the concrete to retrieve the body there, and it's still a mystery who it is and how the body got there. It's still a mystery. But as I said, this is Guyana. So we're going to wait to see what the authorities tell us, and perhaps the identity of this person, now deceased, is going to be revealed soon enough. And that's the front we're following. That's the front we're following. Yep. Yep. Every day, this country. Mysteries. Mysteries. What happened at Queen's College? That's the other mystery. We're going down by the Queen's College. Since Elizabeth closed her eye, it's problems. We're going on by Queen's College. We're learning that Justice Devendra Singh's daughter and the Chief Education Officer's son, had a misunderstanding. It says, it's alleged that Justice Singh's daughter was trying to enter a classroom, and young Hudson, put his hand across the door to prevent her from entering the classroom. And some pushing occurred there. That's what we've learned. Some pushing and shoving occurred there. The young student, the young female student, Miss Singh, trying to enter the class, and young Hudson was barring her entry for whatever reason. And there was some pushing and shoving. Now, if in my time at high school, which was a little while ago, a moment of love ago, according to the poet Martin Carter. Thanks, guys. My parents would have to be at the school every day, my mother in particular. If every time I push or I got shoved, every day we had in school, we were rough in high school, really rough considering. And so there was this pushing and hitting, according to a report we saw. Again, Justice Devendra Singh's daughter and the Chief Education Officer, Marcel Hudson, Dr. Marcel Hudson, his son is the other student involved here. Right? And we learned from a report that was submitted to the Board of Governors that it is alleged Justice Singh called the principal of the school, and in her words, based on the report we saw, it's alleged he said some unkind things to her about her competency and so forth. And as I was reading this, I remember reading an essay, I think it was a speech that was given by Justice Bernard, Desiree Bernard, about judicial conduct. And I think I said the Chief Justice or the Chancellor even more recently than that. But Justice Bernard, Desiree Bernard, and we're going to examine some of this in our podcast, discuss this whole issue about judicial conduct and how judges should comport themselves. And it seems almost apparent that Justice Singh is always in a lot of controversy. We saw, I think it was Justice Singh, we saw at an event recently, which is always like a political rally. This 1,000 Men initiative by the administration, that's politicking. He wants to go there, fair enough. And then recently there was an article, I think in Village Voice, about the judge refusing to be introduced to senior lawyer, Selwyn Peters, Royce Ford, and Counsel Peters had a matter before Justice Singh, and from the report in Village Voice is alleged that Justice Singh says, I don't want to meet him, I don't want to be introduced to him. As Royce Ford was doing the cautious thing and introducing a new lawyer who was appearing before the court to Justice Singh. And then I saw a report that says that a chauffeur was suing Justice Singh for some wrongful detention or wrongful arrest and something like that. I don't see too many headlines like that with other justices. And again, I harken back to this entire essay. We don't have the time in the program to examine it, where Justice Delcy Bernard articulates how judicial officers should comport themselves, events you should stay away from because you don't want the to have your work tainted by bias and the appearance of bias and all of those things. It's your life, we understand that. But your professional life matters too, and you don't want it to be colored by attending cocktail parties and you're being seen with all kind of unsavory characters and clubs and so on. So it's a fine line judicial officers walk. And the content of the phone call was something else. And it moved beyond just the content of a phone call. According to the report that we saw that was submitted, the allegation is that Justice Singh made an appearance at the school with policemen and almost insisted on a meeting with the principal. He called in the meeting with the principal and these policemen at the school. At the school. That's what we're learning. We also are hearing, based on the report before us, the allegation is that the principal was about to enter into another meeting when Justice Singh arrived at the school with police. And the principal said, well, I already have a meeting I am committed to. I don't have time for it. I can't. And if you have, if you have some dissatisfaction with the way things were handled, then you will have to use the ministry route and talk to the ministry about that. And from the report, we're learning that the deputy principal sought to intervene later on, and she was traumatized by her engagement and her intervention, because the report alleges that we saw that Justice Singh will have tried to hit her. That's the allegation in the report, and a policeman had to step in between Justice Singh and her. And in the report, the allegation is that the deputy head teacher is traumatized by the whole incident. Traumatized by the whole incident. I think that is what it suggests. The deputy was traumatized by the whole affair. And Starbuck News headline this morning says that, let me make sure I captured it right. Starbuck News headline says that QC principal says judge intimidated vice principal over incident involving child. That's the headline in Starbuck News. QC principal says judge intimidated vice principal over incident involving child. That's one of the headlines. And in that report, it says that when Starbuck News made contact with the minister, she said the matter had come to their attention and that the board of governors was doing an investigation. The board of governors of the school was doing an investigation, and the board of governors would have to put their questions to Justice Singh. It's quite interesting. But besides even that, based on the report that we saw, it's alleged that a relative went to the class of Dr. Marshall Hudson, the chief education officer. His son is the other student who was involved or is alleged to be involved here, and pushed him. Queen's College. All of that. All of that. Mind you, after the initial pushing and hitting, according to the report, those words are used, quote unquote, pushing and hitting. The head teacher had the students apologize to each other. And that was done. You know, I'm sorry I pushed you, I'm sorry I hit you, and let me move on. And that was the content of the phone call. According to the report, again, it's alleged. The justice said, you know, who are you to allow my child to apologize to somebody who hit her? And everything seemed to have degraded from that point on. So the deputy principal feeling traumatized by her engagement. And that's what the report said, that the justice tried to hit her and the policeman had to step in between. That is the allegation. And then this other relative going to the class of young Hudson and pushing him. And so the matter is set to be before the Board of Governors, but the teachers were on a go-slow yesterday, we're being made to understand. The teachers were on a go-slow yesterday. And then in some information, we saw, as we were coming on, we saw a headline in Demwara Wave that says, Queen's College teachers demand apology and ban of senior judicial officer from the school. That's where we are. Queen's College teacher demands apology and ban of senior judicial officer from the school. Yeah. Queen's College teacher demands apology. Teachers, plural. Queen's College teachers, they were on a go-slow yesterday, protesting what took place. And this is in view of other students. Queen's College teachers demand apology and ban of senior judicial officer from the school. You know, besides the sensational value and everything else here, the implications for this, if even judicial officer and officers can get it wrong where public conduct is concerned, and what should be the right thing to do, how should the rest of society fare? Right? What you can tell a parent now who feel aggrieved because a student jammed the daughter's shoulder, right? You can just walk in the classroom and do what you want to, go into school and do what you want to. You know? How is justice thing different from the Dalrymples, for instance? Remember the whole fracas in the school? Beating up on a teacher? You remember that? Are we back there? Are we back there? The implications of this are huge on our society. And again, it comes back to mind that essay by Justice Bernard, Deshi Bernard, about judicial conduct. And we're going to be talking some more about that in our podcast. We're going to be talking some more about judicial conduct, how we should comport ourselves. Judicial officers, you want them big work that demands integrity, right? And that you operate with circumspect. Right? You got to abide by it. You got to abide by it. And in addition to that, you know, there's a whole gazetted order on conduct of public officials. A whole gazette on that. So we're looking to the Board of Governors to see what happens here. We're looking to the Board of Governors. The ministry seems to have a very hands-off approach, and I can appreciate why. Because one of their officers are involved. It's his son, Chief Education Officer. It's his son And Justice Rabindra Singh is his daughter at Queen's College. It's Queen's College. And all this is playing out in real time. All this is playing out in real time. Folks, share the live, smash that emoji button for us. And look, there's an event coming up in Brooklyn we think you folks ought to know about. An event coming up in Brooklyn we think you guys ought to know. Those of you who are in the diaspora, there's a St. Stephen's Fellowship Hall. Pop-up and brunch is going to be happening there, folks. Saturday, November 19th, 2022. Right. It's in Brooklyn there. All the information. Right. There's a contact information. Contact Kiva. Contact Denise. Right. You have all the contact information there, folks. Admission is free. And there'll be food and sale. St. Stephen's Fellowship Hall, they're in Brooklyn, New York. They're in Brooklyn. Good to see you, Gwyneth Anderson. Good to see you, Holiday First. Good to see you, Annette Cummins and Simone Williams, Juliet Nickel. Good to see you, Denise. We're going to catch up with you guys on the podcast today. But if you're in this area, guys, and on the weekend, on the 19th, St. Stephen's Hall, St. Stephen's Fellowship Hall there, Newkirk Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Pop-up and brunch. I hear the food's going to be scrumptious. If I'm in this neck of the woods on Saturday, I'm not there. You're right there. Guys, pop-up and brunch is happening this Saturday, the 19th. Good to have you, Candy Linda, Dolly Anderson, Marlon Thomas, Roxanne Garraway. I see Glennis is here and all the other beautiful folks here with us too. Great to have you this morning on the program. You know your presence here makes a difference. Support the pop-up and brunch, good folks. Support, support, support. And folks, you got an event coming up. You got an activity. You got a product you want us to share in this way. Hit us up. Hit us up. We'll give you the fix-up. We'll give you the fix-up. Again, folks, pop-up and brunch. St. Stephen's Fellowship Hall, Saturday, November 19th, folks. Day after tomorrow. 2806 Newkirk Avenue, Brooklyn. 12 to 6. Admission free. Food for sale. There's the contact information. You got Denise and Kiva. And then you have an email address you can contact as well. There it is. Good to have each and every one of you guys. We're going to leave you. Well, the guys are telling me they're going to make the pitch. Partner with us. Share the live. Smash that emoji button. Folks, your contributions, your support, your love, like your presence makes a difference in our program. Makes the difference in our program. We got Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. Y'all know how we do it. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. Partner with us. And we can see you right back here at 12 for a podcast. Here's a look at what's happening outside. Here's a look at what's happening outside. Good folks. See you at 12.